This week, again, a lot of amazing Lego creations. In particular, we will see a lot of very, very cool modifications of official Lego sets. As always, remember that all the builders and all the articles mentioned in this video will be linked in the description down below for you to go and check it out. Welcome to This Week in Bricks. Let's start from the Instagram section. The first to be featured is Kid Nugen. We featured him before here on This Week in Bricks. He has this very cool ballerina build. He made this for a round of the Idol Builder some time ago. He's been working on improving the design, which is very, very cool, with some very cool parts usage. And now there are instructions available for this Swan Lake ballerina. Next up, Deacon Tututu, another familiar face. If you remember a few weeks ago, we were talking about sets and mocks for the Lunar New Year. So here we have a modification of the Trotic Lantern set into this 7 Treasures Pagoda. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we featured Cheesy Studios that made a modular building based from the pieces of this set. Staying in the theme, we move on to Nabe Mox, that is on a roll this year with a lot of fantastic Lego creations. This time, he has a Chinese Guardian Lion, which is also known as Shishi. I always love to see all these organic shape, all these curved pieces and colorful one in this case, used in a very clever way. The internal structure must be very, very interesting here. Next up, we stay a little bit in a Japanese style building, but in this case we are talking about Star Wars. We have Darth Bjorn with this build made for Star Wars Factions RPG. We have this roadside tea house in the Gornish countryside. Very, very cool build with these orange neon signs on top. If you look, there is a little bit of interiors as well on 3 different levels. We have some nice landscape at the front. We have a nice mask there on top of the red pole at the front. A nice dark red roof. And some nice textures on the side of the walls as well. A lot of very cool parts used in this build. We stay in the Star Wars section, and we feature this time Azbats Bricks. We saw his builds before. He has this very cool Mission 8.1. This is a sort of swampy kind of vignette. Very, very cool. I love all the different branches of all the roots coming off the swamp. Very colorful on top with this bright green. And we have also this very interesting round entrance for this sort of outpost with the cloth pieces on top to cover it up. Very, very nice build. We also gonna see a little bit of work in progress here. This is by Trebuchet.cro that we mentioned multiple times. Here we can see a little bit of a castle with some rock work, very well done at the bottom with a little bit of hint of green. And some very cool trees. The top of the trees is very nice and round and green, but I really like the organic shape of the trunk coming up from the bottom. Now, let's move into the article section of the week. We start with Tips and Bricks, technique analysis by the Tilt Tower by Team Goddard. This is made for a collaboration. Let me find here, the Steel Squadron collab. Here you can find the other collaborators that are linked in this article. Anyway, as always, this is a nice breakdown of all the techniques and the part usage of this very cool build. And I'm also honored to be featured as well this week. Of course, remember to go and check out Team Goddard profile. Here we have my Space Cantina that I built some time ago to highlight and to display all my CMF space minifigures. For this one, I was using parts from a Avatar Lego set that was not planning to keep built, so I repurposed the parts for this build. I added light, I added all the minifigures, plus on top of that some other additional space minifigure and Avatar and Star Wars. There's a little bit of Easter eggs here and there in this build. Thank you very much to Tips and Bricks for sharing my build. Then we move on to New Elementary. They have a very nice article by Tim Johnson about the new Fabuland exhibit at the Lego House. So if you are planning to travel to the Lego House, you will have the chance to see this in the history section down below. Very, very cool. Also, we are waiting for the announcement of the new exclusive Lego House release in the next couple of weeks, I think. And then this is very, very cool. We featured the mocks with the parts from C-3PO in the past episode, but now there is some more new one. This is by Aero Conan and it's called After Gala. So you can see the dress of this lady over here is all done in gold parts coming from that C3PO set. So this is the set we're talking about, and this is the amazing MOX. You can see also a couple of botanical inspired vase and plants at the back. We have this very nice couch, and this lady sitting very elegant on this couch. Very, very cool build. I'm always amazed how Hero can capture the shape of characters in such a manner. And of course, I really recommend you to go and check out his profile because he has a lot of amazing stuff. Then we move on to Brick Nerd. A lot of cool stuff on Brick Nerd this week. The first one I'm going to feature is by Caleb Wet. I hope I pronounced it correctly. The Silmarillion in Lego. So here we are talking Lord of the Rings, and it's going to light a lot of different MOCs that come from that particular time in the Lord of the Rings timeline. A lot of cool stuff over here to go and check out if you love medieval builds, fantasy build, and Lord of the Rings. Then Brick Build Josh Parkinson, bring us through a guide of different use of the sausage piece. That seems like a pretty basic piece that cannot be used very much in MOCs, but actually has been used prominently in many Lego sets and MOCs as well. And here Brick Build Josh is going to bring you a little bit through all of this. I remember, for example, using this for a bridge in a micro-scale Japanese castle build not so long ago. They also have this very cool article. This is probably my best article from this week. The guest contributor here is Brick Project. The article is about the French Cafe. So we have a little bit of a review of this beautiful set that we mentioned already in the past video. But then he go on in modifying this set in all kind of manners. There's instructions as well. This is really amazing. So for example, here we can see he added a second floor to the French Cafe and expanding the road at the front. But he went even more above and beyond over here. He has a complete rework of the first story of this Le Café floor over here. He have some awning that he added to the set, and he also went in to create a whole new modular building to which you can add this as a facade. So a lot of work here and a lot of amazing ideas from this build. If you remember, we already mentioned Brick Project last week when we were talking about the Bricklink Designer Program, and I featured his beautiful design of the sushi restaurant. We have one more very good article on Brick Nerd. This one is from another guest contributor, which is Cohen van der Oven, which is talking about Lego architecture, in particular about the Twilight Cullen House, the latest Lego idea set. We have also a little bit of comparison with the actual building, the real life building from which this house is inspired. And of course, then you have here all the breakdown and all the details about this set, and this part of a series of articles about architecture and Lego. Talking about the Cullen House, we move on to the Brothers Brick, where they feature my micro-scale Cullen House that I built this week. Later I will talk a little bit more because we have also a video about this. Thank you to the Brothers Brick for featuring and sharing my latest build here of the micro-scale Cullen House. There was a lot of other cool stuff on Brothers Brick. In particular, I want to highlight this alternative build of the Tudor corner by Azure Kingfisher. This is very, very cool take. I love how we shrink a little bit the building and push it at the back so that we can have a little bit of open space, a sort of piazza here at the front of the building. And it's not the only one. He also has another alternative version of this build using the parts from the set, of course. Another build from Brothers Brick that I wanted to highlight, another article in this case, is also that they're looking for new contributors for their team. So if you are a writer and you want to contribute in some way, go and check out this article that I will link down below. Let's move on to the contest section. Last week I mentioned the toysandbricksforum.com. They have a micro-scale contest where we need to shrink down official 18 plus set, and we have some cool prizes to be won in this contest that is open until April 1st. As I mentioned, this week I built the micro-scale Cullen House that was made for this contest in particular. And another very interesting submission is this one by Watersnap, which is a mini version of the Pinnibone Pilibon, which is a very, very cool set from the Fortnite wave, and I think has been translated very, very well in this scale. Of course, February is still going on. You can go and check out the Flickr page where everybody posts all their builds. That's a lot of cool stuff. Here, some of my highlights. Frost is always going strong. I love here all these bright green parts that I think come from the Dreams set lineup. He also has this kind of breakdown rover that I think is a very clever idea and also very well executed. And I also love this one. The colors here really pop, and I love the inclination of the rover, and the design of the wheels is extremely cool. Is De Jong is also continuing to put out daily posts. Very, very cool. One of my favorite is this one with these pink wheels. Very well done. And I also have another builder here that I want to feature, which is Penelope. The nickname is Tiny Frost, so maybe there's some relation with Frost that we just now mentioned. And it's a very cool build. I like the little tree there on the side, but I like in particular the color scheme and the wheels of this rover and the characters. I don't know where they come. Maybe there are some video characters, I guess. They match very, very well the vibe of this rover. Now, let's move into the Lego ideas section. I'm going to light a Dragon Ball Z build. Very, very cool. So here we have the highlight is the dragon in the middle, very, very well built, and of course a minifigure that would be extremely cool to see in official Lego products. I would love to have a Goku minifigure. I built some Goku in the past. I have a sort of buildable kind of figure, like chibi figure that I did some time ago. So I would love to see some more Dragon Ball. And here I also managed to add a couple of side builds. For example, this Kame House, which is done in a reasonable scale, so it's not too big. And I think this couple of sides build could work well with this set. This is designed by Lego Truman. That is the designer behind the Starry Night set. And he has a lot of stuff that you can go and vote and support on Lego Ideas that might reach the 10,000 supporters. For example, the Apple Store is almost there. There is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There is the Tiger sculpture. The Shiba dogs are very, very cool. My favorite one is this Starbucks coffee. I love in particular the logo is very well designed. Of course, here there's interiors and everything. I know that Lego Ideas, they generally don't approve modulars, but maybe if there is an IP involved, maybe that's something that can work out. This is a very cool design, and so I think many people would love to have this display in their modular cities. Now, let's move on to the YouTube section of the video. We're almost at the end. Let's start from the official page of the official channel of Lego. They featured this week a very cool video with a collaboration with Jeff Leatham about Lego Botanica. So he's an expert in composition of flowers. And here is a very, very well done video where he's putting together this composition, this creation, mixing Lego Botanicals and real flowers, and I think it's really, really cool. And sometimes you cannot really tell the difference if you don't look closely. Very nice video. I recommend you to check it out. Then Beyond the Brick is finally back with long form videos. 4 videos this week that you need to check out. They put a video every day, so keep an eye out of them. I will feature a lot of them. For example, this week they have this very cool medieval layout with the castle and Vikings going into a battle. We have the Dune Sand War by Mark of Forward. We mentioned this in previous video before, so here go and check it out. They have a little bit interview with Mark as well. You know I like habitats, so here we have, when you go to convention, you can often find these monochromatic habitats, but here we have some super-sized ones, some macro habitats. And of course, we have the proper long video about the new Ashima build in Atlanta. And if you only have time to watch one video this week, I would recommend you to go and watch this one. It's a 30 minutes video, but it's always worth it to go and see what's behind and all the details of the new Ashima projects. Next up, we move on to Hippolyte Bricks. He has a short video about Lego pieces for MOOCs in particular, in this case for terrain and landscape. And these are very, very cool tips. I agree 100% with him. All the parts that he's suggesting you are very, very cool, very, very good to build landscape. And this is a part of a series of videos of this type. Next up, Brick Story. We mentioned a few weeks ago his Tatooine build, and now is the finale, so it's the last part of his Tatooine layout, so you can see in all its glory with all the lights and everything, and it's very, very cool. I highly recommend you to go and check it out. Then we have Cheesy Studios again. Last time we mentioned the micro scale version of the Ninjago workshop. This time, instead of going micro, it went macro with an expanded version of the Minecraft crafting table that he expanded, I think, 8 times bigger. You can see over here, and it's very, very interesting, especially if you are a Minecraft fan. Then we move on to Bob Brickman, aka Brickcraft. He has a highly illegal but extremely cool technique here for a curved road. It's the first time for me, at least, that I see this technique, and I think it's really, really cool. And the final effect of this curved road in front of his airport is really, really good. So I highly recommend you to go and check out this video, or wait until he has the English version going out on Brickcraft. On my channel, as I mentioned before, I have the video out of my microscale and modular, by the way, design for the Cullen House. I also have the members only vlog video where you can see the behind the scene of this build, and also the one that I build already. My next project is going to be a Viking village, which is a modification of the Goatbot set. It's going to be out on Monday. Check out my membership program down below if you are interested. If you want to support the channel further, I will put some affiliate links down below to Amazon US. For example, here a deal that I can recommend you is the 16% off on the McLaren Ayrton Senna Lego Icon set. Now we have all the F1 stuff coming out on March 1st. So maybe you can find some good discount of this one from last year. Any purchases you want to do on Amazon.com, you can go down below, click on my affiliate link, no extra cost for you. And that's a way to support my channel over here with a little affiliate link. Of course, please consider to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, or go and check out another video. Here you have the playlist with my previous episodes of This Week in Bricks. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.